What's up, everyone? Arctic here, bringing you guys a brand new Running Ranked episode. This is season 6, episode number 10. Halfway through the season, I am rolling with the Onyx Guard. The Arctic Camo is what I am using right now. Get some questions about those. If you don't know why I'm using it, you know what? I'm at a loss for words if you don't know why I'm using the Arctic Camo. Yeah. So anyway, I got a couple things to talk about today. I wanted to basically continue that discussion I had about the ink. If you guys watched episode number 9, I talked about it at the end of the video. And there's a very good example, a couple good examples in this particular gameplay of when I have rifles and I have the ink, how I use it to deny players advancing on me. And it's one of the things that I think people are kind of missing in their gameplay when they talk about, you know, how do I counter the melee? How do I counter people rushing me with the Gnasher? There's a bug I wanted to show. I don't know what the hell that skating was there, but I was so thrown off. I just didn't know what to do. I had that happen like 2 or 3 times. I don't know if that's in the same vein as that weird wall bouncing animation bug, but it's kind of getting on my nerves at this point, both the wall bouncing animation bug and that thing that happened. So here's a very good example of how I used the ink there. I denied access to where I was, put myself in a corner, threw down the ink. He had a Gnasher, couldn't do diddly squat, and got just straight up outplayed. That is one way to take away people that continually rush, continually go for the 2-piece. You grab an ink, you throw it down in front of you, you back up with your rifle. It is that simple. It is literally that simple. And for people that have trouble with stems, it's almost the exact same thing. Someone throws down a stem, they come rushing at you, you back away. The issue that I think people have is when they see a stem, they typically engage. Now, there are times when you are engaged in someone and they panic and throw down the stem and you're like, oh shit. You know, that one is very frustrating. That's happened to me a couple times. But if someone has a Gnasher and they're running stem Gnasher and they're throwing the Gnasher in front of them and then coming at you, don't engage. Don't engage. Or throw down an ink that's, you know, in front of their path, lancer them down before they get to the stem. I've done that as well. But if they are rushing at you like that and you have no defense, do not engage. Run away. It is literally that simple. And that is what I've been doing whenever I've been running with a rifle and I'm in a situation where it's like, why would that make sense? Why should I put myself at a disadvantage and give this guy the upper hand? I'm just going to run away. I'm going to reset myself to a better position, and I'm just going to try to outplay him that way. Sometimes, I mean, it sounds like a bitch move, I know, but sometimes you just got to take the better tactical route and just outplay your opponent. Just outsmart them, outplay them, period. And that's what you have to do to be victorious in certain situations like this, especially because you don't have, you know, 2 loadouts. You can't switch to a Gnasher unless you have it. So that's my advice I have for it. I'll have a couple more examples and probably do tips and tactics on that as well. Now, second half of this, if you guys aren't on Twitter, I'm gonna say this just right now because I feel like a lot of people miss the conversation that goes on with Twitter. You have devs on Twitter, you have players that are influencers on Twitter, and a lot of you guys that are wondering, you know, where I kind of get some of my topics for discussion, or what is the general vibe of what's going on. You're missing a part of the conversation if you're not on Twitter. I promise you are missing a part of the conversation. So down in the description, I have my Twitter account. I have several players that are in the community. I have their Twitter accounts. I have devs' Twitter accounts. If you're not following them, you really need to. If you care about Gears of War and you care about what's been said in the past, week or so, because there's been a lot of stuff that's been said. Jim, Rack, Cream, myself, the Active Reload crew. I think on last week's show, episode 5, we talked about a playlist that you could test settings, and Epic talked about it on their dev live stream on Thursday, the next day, and said that's pretty much a possibility. And then later, Jim Brown confirmed that he's trying to get a playlist where we can test settings. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not happy about, and I've said this multiple times in the past on Gears 3 and on Gears Judgment, I hate that we have so many damn playlists. I really dislike it because this community is very small as is, and we really don't need all the separation. But I will say this, with a test playlist, for all of the people that have offered up constructive feedback or just straight up just bitching about the game, and that's all they do, this is your opportunity to see, hey, okay, these are some changes that I wanted to see in. Let me see how they actually play out in a live environment. And me being, I used to be in QA when I worked, well, I still work at Edge of Reality, but I started off in QA, so I know all the, the testing thing scenarios that I would kind of look for in test cases. But I'm gonna just offer up a few for you guys, and they're very simple. I feel like if you plan on going into this playlist, you need to do two things. One, play by yourself, and the second thing is play with the team. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to do. I mean, I would say test out the different weapons. If they say, hey, this week we're going to try a buff on the pistol, so take out your pistol and try to use it. Or this week we're going to offer up a buff on the Bushka. Try to grab the Bushka and see what it's like. I don't know if Epic is planning on doing some forums or something where you can offer up your feedback or not. Hopefully they do. Calendar is sorely missing to point people in the right direction of where they can offer up feedback at. Really missed out on that. I just don't know why they didn't decide to include that, but I really hope you guys check that out and offer up some feedback. What I can suggest to Epic is please do not wall this playlist in. Here's a couple suggestions. One, do not let players vote on maps. Do not let players vote on maps. If this is going to be a playlist where you get to test settings, I want it to be so that I can test settings on as many maps as possible. So it's probably got to be quick match. I know I hate quick match, but I don't want people to vote, and it needs to be all the game types. So please offer up all the game types, all of the situations where I can play various maps. So all the maps, and do not, absolutely do not let players vote on maps. I do not want to play Streets 20 times. I don't want to play Rig over and over again. I don't want to play Gondola over and over again. I don't want to play Execution Gondola over and over again. I don't want to play Execution Streets. Oh, I think you guys get it. Offer up variety so that we can test the settings on every possible scenario and then offer up feedback on that. If you're going to do Execution for a week, let us know. We'll do Execution that week. If we're going to do TDM, that's fine. But I want to test it on as many game types as possible if this playlist comes to light. Other than that, there's been a lot of talk about the Nashor spread, and I don't know what's going to come of that, but I'm certainly interested to see more so of what Epic wants to do. Maybe that'll be in the playtest server or playlist, whatever you want to call it, and we'll get to see if tightening the spread is going to make the Nashor feel any more consistent. Since 70% of the people are using it, 60% of the people are using it anyway, it wants to be even more consistent. That really doesn't make sense to me. You guys, I'm a little sarcastic there, but it really doesn't make sense to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Remember, links down in the description for Twitter. Follow, folks. You guys are missing part of the discussion, I promise you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Until the next time, I will catch you later. Peace.